Imagine you prosecuted a former president for serious federal crimes. You did everything by the book, and then that same man gets re elected, takes back the White House, and tells his Justice Department to come after you. That is not a hypothetical. That is exactly where Jack Smith is right now. And this week, he walked into a congressional hearing and said it all out loud, under oath, looking Congress straight in the eye. What's going on, everyone? Frank John here, Joshu reaction. Let's get into this. So, Jack Smith, the special counsel who prosecuted Donald Trump on federal election interference and classified documents charged, appeared before Congress recently. And what came out of that hearing is something every American and honestly every Canadian watching this needs to hear clearly. Congresswoman Becca Balint laid it out right there on the record. She pointed out that Donald Trump has attacked Jack Smith 185 times on Truth Social. 185. Trump called him a deranged animal, a disgrace to humanity, a radical left matrix. Now, think about that for a second. We are not talking about criticism of a policy or a legal argument. We are talking about a sitting president attacking a federal prosecutor over and over by name with that kind of language. And Jack Smith sat there in that hearing room and he didn't flinch. Under oath, Jack Smith looked Congress in the eye and said this, and I'm going to read it carefully because the words matter. He said, I will not be intimidated. We followed the facts and the law, and that process result in proof beyond a reasonable doubt that he committed serious crimes. That's a federal prosecutor sworn in saying plainly, we had the proof, we followed the law, and I am not backing down from that no matter what. Now, people can agree or disagree with how Smith handled the prosecutions. That's fair. Reasonable, people can debate that, but what you cannot debate is this: a man sitting under oath in front of Congress saying this evidence was there is a serious statement. That's not a press release, that's sworn testimony. And he didn't stop there. Jack Smith told Congress openly the fully experts Trump's Justice Department to indicate him, criminally prosecute him, not because he broke any law, but because he enforced one. His words were direct: Trump wants me in prison not because I broke the law, but because I followed it. Let that sit for a moment. A special counsel, a man whose job was literally to uphold federal law, is now expecting criminal prosecution by the very department he used to work within, because the person he investigated is now running that department. That is not normal. This has never happened in American history at this level, and it's bigger than just Jack Smith personally. Career prosecutors across the DOJ, people who spent decades working these cases, they are being pushed out, replaced. The institutional knowledge, the independence, the culture of following evidence wherever it leads, that's being systematically dismantled and replaced with loyalty to one man. That's not spin, that's what the people inside these institutions are saying. Now, why does this matter to you whether you are in Ohio or Ontario? Because the Justice Department isn't just about politics or Washington drama, it's the institution that enforces federal law across the board. It handles financial crimes, corruptions, national security cases, drug trafficking, things that affect everyday life. When career prosecutors get replaced by political loyalists, when the culture shifts from follow the evidence to follow the boss, the credibility of every federal prosecution starts to erode. And that erosion doesn't stay in Washington, it spreads. For Americans, it means you have to ask, who is the DOJ actually working for right now? For Canadians watching this, it raises real questions about the stability and rule of law in your largest trading partner and closest neighbor. This isn't left or right, it's a question about whether institutions can hold. Here's what I do keep an eye on going forward. Watch whether the DOJ actually moves to indicate Jack Smith. If that happens, it will be a line crossed that has no real precedent in modern American history. Watch the resignations or the silence of career DOJ officials when experienced prosecutors stop speaking up. That tells you something. And watch Congress, because right now oversight hearings like this one are one of the few remaining public forums where people under oath have to answer direct questions. Pay attention to what gets asked and what doesn't. This story is not going away, it's going to develop over months, and we'll be right here breaking it down for you as it does. If this video gave you something real to think about, something honest and straight, hit that like button and subscribe. We do this every week. No drama, no spin. Just the facts laid out clearly so you can form your own opinion. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I genuinely read them. And as always, I am Frank John. This is Joshu Reaction. In God we trust. We are Christians. God bless America. Stay sharp, stay informed. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Talk soon. Bye bye.